could potentially happen over the next few months will shake you to your core, because it's going to challenge your belief system. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. To all of my house guests, come in, make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. Okay guys, in a week where the weather has been absolutely diabolical, you know we Brits go on about the weather, especially when it impacts our mood and impacts our plans. The royal family have had much more to worry about than the weather this week. So let's see what's happened over the last 7 days.
Dishonour.
According to the Cambridge Dictionary, if you dishonour a promise or agreement, you do not do what you said you would do. Merriam-Webster defines disrespect as low regard or esteem for someone or something, lack of respect.
Dismiss.
According to the Cambridge Dictionary, to dismiss is to decide that something or someone is not important and not worth considering. The final week of February 2024 was another one full of speculation regarding Kate's whereabouts, this time compounded by the apparently sudden withdrawal of William from attending the memorial service of his godfather, exiled King Constantine of Greece, for personal reasons. Essentially, William is letting you know that whatever he does has absolutely nothing to do with you, so you should mind your own business. For someone who claims to have been very close to his godfather, not only has he disrespected and dismissed those who are funding his very existence with this attitude, but he has also disrespected, dismissed, and even dishonoured the memory of his godfather for the second time. The first time was King Constantine's actual funeral in January 2023, when William asked his relative Lady Gabriella Windsor to represent him in his absence. King Constantine also happened to be her godfather. Unfortunately, Gabriella was unable to stand in again for William at last Tuesday's memorial service because her husband was found deceased 2 days before. Shockingly and very sadly, it's been reported today, 1st of March 2024, that Lady Gabriella's husband, Thomas Kingston, passed away from a traumatic head wound, and a gun was found near to his body in an outbuilding at his parents' home in the Cotswolds. An inquest opening at Gloucestershire Coroner's Court heard. Many cited this as the reason why William decided to pull out of attending the memorial, very close to his home. But if that were the case, why did he only notify the Greek royal family of his decision, reportedly 45 minutes before the service? Interestingly, this announcement was swiftly followed by assurances that Kate is doing well. So-called royal expert Tom Bower fueled further speculation by claiming to have exclusive information about Kate's health condition, but he's not able to share that information. And while not being strong enough to resist the compulsion to utter Harry and Meghan's names in all of this mess, he finally acknowledged what we already knew, that the royal family is in crisis.
It's been more than a month since the Princess of Wales had successful abdominal surgery. At the time, Buckingham Palace said Kate would not return to royal duties for several months. But the whole nation is now asking the question, where is Kate?
Well, meanwhile, on a visit to a synagogue in London, William said anti-Semitism has no place in society. It was his first public engagement since pulling out of his godfather's memorial service due to personal reasons. Well, joining us now is royal biographer Tom Bower. Tom, I mean, whatever the royal family do, whatever, whatever ribbon-cutting, handshaking, there's only one thing the public want to know right now is what sort of surgery was it? Is she okay? Is there something we're not being told?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, of course, we're not being told what the surgery was. And as I understand it, it was very serious. I won't reveal what I have been told it was, but she is seriously ill. It is not fatal. She will recover, but it's a long healing process. And that's why she has disappeared from view.
And I think what we're talking about, Tom, here is the sort of communication system between the palace and the media. Of course, when the King came down with cancer, we were all sort of shouting from the rooftops, isn't this marvellous? They've led us into this important family matter. The King is suffering from cancer. They then went on not to tell us what type of cancer. I'm not criticising this, but it is not exactly ideal. There's all of this. We'll tell you a little bit, but we won't tell you the rest. It's going to fuel speculation. And in some ways, when people say, well, where is Kate? Don't forget, they did announce we wouldn't see her again till Easter. But I think what has really got this fever of speculation going was on Monday, when with half an hour to spare, Prince William pulled out of giving an address at King Constantine's memorial service. It was, of course, William's godfather. They were very close. So people are going, what the hell? And what we get from the palace is, he pulled out for personal reasons. The speculation is he had to rush to see Kate. I don't know if that's true, but do you see what I'm saying? That the way the palace communicates with the media, I absolutely understand the need for privacy. They have a right to privacy, but it does not produce an ideal situation. It produces vacuums into which speculation pours.
Well, I think all you say is correct, but on the other hand, it's far worse than just news management. We do have a crisis for the monarchy at the moment. The King is ill, probably more serious than we realise. Princess Markle, Princess Kate, the Princess of Wales, who is the future for the monarchy and a most wonderful person and asset monarchy, is seriously ill too. We have the constant problem of Harry and Meghan. The reappearance of Andrew is catastrophic. It is a very, very bad time for the monarchy and a bad time for Britain. It makes us all probably appreciate the monarchy more than perhaps before, when we didn't realise how few members there are and how important they are in our lives. So I don't think it's so much the news management. I think it's literally the facts. The facts are that the royal family at the moment is besieged by health, bad health, and unfortunately by scandal too.
Now, if not being able to read the room were a person, it would be Andrew. The level of disrespect was so evident as he arrogantly led members of the family into St George's Chapel on Tuesday, grinning from ear to ear like a Cheshire cat, causing one to be under the impression that a wedding was taking place as opposed to a memorial service.
I'll tell you,
And
Tom.
when?
I'll tell you, Tom. Sorry to interrupt. I'll tell you, Tom. One member of the royal family that they don't want to see, that is Prince Andrew. You alluded to this just now at the King Constantine Memorial Service at St George's Chapel in Windsor on Monday. He took the lead, and in the procession of VIPs and royal family members were the Queen and Princess Anne. Who's marching ahead? Who's glad-handing everyone? It is Prince Andrew. What can be done to persuade this man that he's not required to do that? We do not want to see him like that, and he cannot return to frontline royal duties because clearly he still cherishes that prospect.
You're absolutely right. And the real problem is the only person who can tell him to behave properly and discreetly and disappear is his brother, the King. And that's one thing that King Charles has been unwilling to do. I mean, that is the problem, that Charles has been on the whole weak. He is clearly now ill and is in a position to exert himself. And Andrew just literally baldly pushed himself to the front with his ex-wife. It was absolutely a sight not for sore eyes. It was a sight that caused sore eyes. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And what should the Queen and Princess Anne do? Push Andrew physically away? I mean, this is a man who is renowned for his self-importance and for his appalling manners and lack of discretion. And, he's just the sort of person to push himself to the front. And you rightly say, he behaved with appalling manners and no sense of dignity at all, and all the wrongs he's done. But this is the problem. The men in grey suits in the palaces cannot tell Andrew what to do on an open occasion like that, and they fail.
It's extraordinary. Tom, great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
One of the many things I've observed with the institution is how selective it is when it comes to security arrangements. On Wednesday, it was reported that Harry lost his High Court challenge against the government over his security when in the UK. This flies in the face of a directive given by Harry's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. In this ongoing dispute, Harry had even offered to pay for police security when in the UK, but this idea was rejected after a government lawyer stated that officers shouldn't be used as private bodyguards for the wealthy. Now, I have a few observations here. The police could definitely use any money they can get their hands on, since they cite the lack of funding as a reason for not being an effective service. We are paying for their inefficiency. UK police officers will not come out if your house has been burgled because apparently they have no one available. But I find it strange that they have money to employ individuals that should never have been police officers in the first place. The same officers who have all the time and energy in the world to form WhatsApp groups dedicated to sharing indecent images, leading to unsuspecting innocent women being lured off the street, brutally assaulted and then deleted, while other officers in their geriatric years are compelled to share disgusting, racially motivated messages about the King's second daughter-in-law. A couple of weeks ago, the media was twisting the narrative to imply that Harry's coming back to the UK to rejoin the royal family. I am in no doubt that those are the only circumstances under which he would receive royal protection, but because it's clear he will only visit the UK, the establishment does not care what happens to him. I personally have no trust in the police whatsoever, and the cynical side of me envisages Harry's life being in greater jeopardy if he did have police protection while he was here, because arguably someone within that protection team could be persuaded to delete him. Do you remember when people were essentially accusing Harry and Meghan of lying when it was revealed they'd been chased through the streets of New York last year? It transpires they were actually telling the truth, not that I had any doubt about that. As stated by the NYPD, who had enough evidence to arrest 2 people for reckless endangerment, confirming that the couple were indeed aggressively pursued. It has also been confirmed that whenever Harry and Meghan are in New York, they will receive police protection. Knowing how the press literally relentlessly stalked Princess Diana in Europe during the summer of 1997, only for her life to be taken at their hands on foreign soil, do not be shocked if the establishment are currently trying to orchestrate ways for the same thing to happen to Harry and Meghan while they reside outside of the UK. The NYPD certainly do not want to be placed in the position where they could potentially have blood on their hands. Meanwhile, you have a work-shy, self-entitled, greedy, disrespectful sexagenarian believing he's done nothing criminal, expecting to continue to be financially supported by his brother, which is really our money, now that his mummy is no longer with us. Remember, his royal protection was only cut because he was forced to give up his HRH title following the disclosure of his association with Epstein, and even then, the Home Secretary at the time, Priti Patel, was fighting to have his £3 million protection reinstated. If you dare to have a mind of your own and accept being completely discarded, leaving you to create a life outside of the royal family because they weren't willing to accept a reasonable alternative, you will receive no more protection under any circumstances. Withdrawal of royal protection is the punishment meted out to you for not doing exactly what they want you to do, even if you are the mother of a future king, or a son of the current king. Make no mistake, if you, as a royal family member, are purported to have engaged in questionable activities with an underage individual, your protection will be much greater than if you intimately associated with someone of a different racial heritage. And if you are a good little royal, willing to have your entire personality extracted, keep your mouth shut and do exactly as you're told, which neither Diana or Harry were prepared to do, you are free to disappear for an extended period of time with no plausible explanation, and your very privacy is guaranteed to have the ultimate protection, even though there are a significant number of people across the globe demanding to know where you are.
Also, as people were saying, if she really is just recovering from surgery and the palace is protecting her from the press, then they argued that shows a double standard in the royal family, right? And that's because Meghan Markle previously said that when she was dealing with suicidal thoughts, she was actually denied care from the firm because it wouldn't be good for the institution, saying reps told her that there was nothing they could do to protect her. And that's in line with claims Prince Harry's made that the family refused to help the two of them as they dealt with relentless and racist tabloid attacks. But this is now Kate is apparently getting incredibly private care. A bunch of walls are being put up around her to prevent any tabloid from seeing her, which is why you have people saying things things like, the last 2 months have shown everyone that the royal family could have protected Princess Diana and Meghan Markle. They chose not to. And with all this, people just slamming the royal family and the institutions around it. And again, people saying at the very least, it's odd, noting that even the king has been photographed since we learned that he's dealing with cancer treatment. And so with all the theories and the outrage spreading online this morning, you had a spokesperson basically telling HuffPost that everyone needs to shut up, saying Kensington Palace made it clear in January the timelines of the princess's recovery and we'd only be providing significant updates. That guidance stands, and still claiming that she is doing well. But to the growing number of conspiracy theorists, that kind of just sounded like the palace saying, we told you, we locked Kate in a dungeon. She remains in said dungeon. What do you want from us? Right? And so with this, you had people saying a statement like this is exactly how you stir up more speculation, not stop.
In the matter of Harry and Meghan being denied what Queen Elizabeth II expressly desired for them in terms of their level of security, as far as I'm concerned, not only has Queen Elizabeth been dishonoured, not only has she been disrespected, but she's also been dismissed. Remember the 3 definitions I gave you at the very beginning of this video? I believe that those 3 definitions apply to how the memory of Queen Elizabeth has been treated with respect to Harry and Meghan and what she wanted for them. Should it surprise me? I guess not, because when you see how Charles did the same thing in relation to his second wife, Camilla, Queen Elizabeth said that Camilla should be known as Queen Consort. She didn't say Queen. I've talked about this in a previous video. She did not say Queen. She said Queen Consort. What did Charles go and do? As soon as he was crowned, he made her Queen. So effectively, Queen Camilla, I don't even like saying that. Queen Camilla has taken the place of, has she taken the place of Queen Elizabeth? That's controversial, but I know you guys get the gist. I don't know why Queen Consort couldn't have been good enough for her, but you know, she has her fans here and there, I guess. So my point is, if he can do that and disregard completely the wishes of his mother concerning his wife, he's going to disregard the wishes of his mother concerning his son. This is plain to see. So when any of these self-proclaimed royal experts, and I'm even going to extend it to those who were in the miles-long queue, snaking around London, waiting to bow in front of the Queen's coffin a couple of years ago, when those people say to you with their whole chest that they honour the Queen, that they respect the Queen, this is Queen Elizabeth, okay, and that they miss the Queen, as far as I'm concerned, they lie. The 3 definitions of those words, dishonour, disrespect, dismiss, will show you that they lie, because they have, if they can show utter disdain and complete disregard for the necessity for Harry and Meghan to have a certain level of security, they've not respected the Queen's wishes at all. They've dishonoured her and they've dismissed her. And if you, as a British citizen with whom the royal family has entered a social contract, whether you realise it or not, if you don't believe that you've also been dishonoured, disrespected and dismissed, especially when it comes to what they want to tell us and what they don't want to tell us. Forget about this thing of privacy, okay? Because it doesn't apply, it's not uniform. If you don't believe you've been treated in the same way as Queen Elizabeth II's memory, what could potentially happen over the next few months will shake you to your core, because it's going to challenge your belief system in this structure. If your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.